Welcome back to another round of the Juice. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to talk about Guntersville and the KBF trail down there a couple weeks ago. I apologize for the delay. I had a really quick turnaround with the FLW KBF Open down on Nickajack. So went down there and fished that this past weekend. Just got home yesterday. I'll catch you up on all the Nickajack happenings and everything that went down there. I didn't have much pre-fishing time. I think I had a day to get down there and try to figure some stuff out. I know a little bit about Guntersville, but I didn't really have a lot to go on. Didn't have a lot of time to really sort things out. But tried a couple different spots. I found two different patterns. I found a big lily pad field. The lily pads weren't all choked out. They were just kind of scattered lily pads and lily pad stems. I went in there on my pre-fishing day. I just had a few hours left and things were really firing off. I mean, I was catching a bunch of fish, a lot of fish moving, a lot of bait pushed up back there late in the evening. So it seemed like as good a place as any to start. I felt like there was actually some pretty big fish there. But before that, earlier in the day, I found a stretch that was probably 2 miles long on the main lake, just off the main river channel, that had maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 docks lined up one after another. One of the first places they stop is, and when I say they, I'm talking about those big females. You know, that's really what you're looking for when you're trying to fish a tournament, is you're looking for those big female bites. But a lot of times they'll hang up on those docks, and a lot of them they'll be fishing on those docks all year long. And so I thought, you know, it's right after the spawn. These big females haven't quite made it out, so I'm going to start checking these docks. I fished the first 10 docks and I catch like seven fish, and they were nice too. I mean, I caught some decent fish. There's no spawned out female, roughed up a little bit. Nice fish hiding out under a dock, recovering after the spawn. Not a bad one. I'll take 5 of those tomorrow. Nice fish. There we go. Surgeon head right in the dome. Hooked it perfect. Picasso surgeon head, little swim bait. Not a big one. That was fun. Alright guys, first KBF trail of the season out here on Guntersville Lake. It's 5:28, so I got a couple minutes before line's in, and I'm up here. I'm actually all alone. I should probably knock on wood because I know it won't last, but yeah, I got this whole back pocket to myself. There's a big lily pad field out in here, and the lily pads aren't like all choked up. They're actually spread out really well. And came in here yesterday. There was a bunch of shad, bass gorging everywhere. And then out from these lily pads, a little bit deeper out, is some hydrilla. So it's a good looking area. I know there's fish here. Just got to put 5 on the board real quick, hopefully. And hopefully we can find some of these bigger females that have spawned out and maybe are lingering around in these lily pads and trying to push back out to this deeper hydrilla. So yep, got less than a minute, so let's go do this thing. Starting off my morning, I threw some top water and just didn't have any action with it. And then, you know, bass boats kind of started showing up to this spot as the blast offs occurred with the tournaments. You know, boats started showing up, and pressure in this spot just really blew up. I mean, I probably had 6-7 boats in this back of this pocket with me. I mean, it was a big pocket. There was room, but it was pretty crowded, and so things got kind of tough. So I did what you do when things get tough. You're fishing shallow. Lily pads, I went to a wacky rig Senko. I don't particularly like throwing it, but you do what you got to do. So part 1 of my pattern was definitely a wacky rig Senko. I was throwing it on fairly heavy line, a heavy bait casting setup, one of my NRX combos. That'll be in the description. I'll show you guys exactly what I'm using. My other deal was on the docks. You know, I was flipping a D-bomb around those docks. I also threw the wacky rig Senko a little bit around those docks too, and just could not get the bites on it like I did the day before. So I had the dock pattern going, and then, you know, I found some fish up shallow in the lily pads. I went out to the docks about midday and didn't get a bite. Just didn't get a bite. You know, those docks had probably been worked over pretty good early that morning. There was a bunch of bass boat tournaments going on out there, so anytime you're on Guntersville, that kind of water, you always have to contend with that. But the bites just weren't there for me on the dock pattern, so I went back to my lily pads and just kind of toughed it out there in the lily pads. And, you know, I got some good bites. I caught a few decent fish, but it was just enough to keep me in mid-pack. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this episode of The Juice. I appreciate you guys. Hit the subscribe button, because if you're a subscriber, next episode I'm going to do the Yeti giveaway, and I'll throw that up here right now so you guys can see what that's about. But it's just to say thank you. You guys helped me hit 1,000 subscribers, and I just wanted to do something to give back to you guys. So appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. We'll do that next time on The Juice. Here in a couple weekends is the Hobie Bass Open, and so I'm getting ready to head out to Kentucky Lake this weekend, do a little bit of pre-fishing. You're going to get a fishing report from Kentucky Lake from me. I'll tell you guys how my weekend of pre-fishing goes. And I'm also going to be doing some ledge stuff, so I'm going to get out there and show you guys what these ledges are all about. Bring you ledge part 2. I've already done part 1. Part 1 was just kind of introductory for people who don't know what ledges are. But now we're going to get down into the actual details of how I set up on stuff, how I fish things, what baits I use and when I like to use them, that kind of thing. We'll get into a little bit of electronics detail too, just show you guys how I set my Lowrance up and what the things that I'm looking for. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys the next time around.